Develop project team is a process of project resource management. The first process is plan resource management, then estimate activity resources, and then we acquire resources for the project. Now you have all team members and it's time to develop them for your project to achieve project objectives and goals. So what are the objectives of developing a project team? Number one is training, improving the knowledge and skills of team members to increase their ability to complete project deliverables while lowering cost, reducing schedules, and improving quality. Along with training, you will have to develop team environment, improving feelings of trust, agreements among team members to raise goal morale, lower conflict, and increase teamwork. Third, you will have to develop collaborative team culture, improve individual and team productivity, team spirit, and cooperation. Allow across training and mentoring between team members to share knowledge and expertise. And then you will empower your team members to participate in decision making and taking ownership of the provided solutions to improve team. You will have to involve your team members in your project work, like team members gather requirements, team members create project scope statement, team members work on work breakdown structure, they work on to develop schedule, network diagram, they find their ways to work on your project deliverables. So you will have to empower the team members to participate in decision making. A project manager's role is get things done from the team members. So these are the objectives of developing a project team. As a project manager, think what you need to do to develop a project team. You must use soft skills such as mentoring, leadership, negotiation, empathy, and communication. You must encourage your teamwork and your team members to participate in decision making, communicating honestly, effectively, and in timely manner with project people assigned to the project. Assessing team members' strengths and weaknesses. This is your responsibility. You will have to give them tasks where they are good at it. So performance, preferences, and learning styles to help the team work together. Establishing and maintaining trust between project manager and team members and among all stakeholders. Collaborating with team members or team to make good bought in decisions and to find mutual beneficial solutions to problems. Holding team building activities and motivate them. Give recognition and rewards. Give training, manage conflict. These all are your responsibilities as a project manager while you will work on to develop your project team. So, develop team is the process of improving competencies, team member interaction, and overall team environment to enhance project performance. The key benefit of this process is that it results in improved teamwork, enhanced interpersonal skills and competencies, motivated employees, reduced attrition, and improve overall project performance. Let's discuss the Tuckman ladder model. According to Tuckman, the first step is forming. This phase is where the team members meet and learn about the project and their formal roles and responsibilities. Team members tend to be independent and not as open in this phase. In this stage, we develop a project team charter. What is team charter? Team members work together to establish goals, rules, and methods to interact each other. I have already talked about project team charter in plan resource management process, where we produce two documents, resource management plan and team charter. If you have any confusion in understanding a project team charter, you can watch my that video, plan resource management. So the first step is forming. Next is storming. During this phase, the team begins to address the project work, technical decisions and project management approach. If team members are not collaborative or open to differing ideas and perspectives, the environment can become counterproductive. Good leaders will motivate the team, address issues as they raise, keep the focus on the goals. So as a project manager in this phase is in storming, your key goal should be to develop environment where team members can work together. If they can't work together, you cannot make a team. Next is norming. In this phase, team members begin to work together and adjust their work habits and behaviors to support the team. The team members learn to trust each other. In performing, teams that reach the performing stage function as well as organized unit. They are interdependent and work through issues smoothly and effectively. And last is to say goodbye. This is called adjourning. The team members completes the work and moves on from the project. This typically occurs when staff is released from the project as deliverables are completed or as part of closed project or phase process. So, in forming stage, we develop team charter. In norming stage, we create environment for team members to work together. In norming stage, team members work together and focus on positivity in others and avoid negativity. And here, the leadership style should be democratic. In performing, the team works together, trust each other, help each other and produce deliverables. And in adjourning, the team finishes the work and say goodbye. So let's talk about the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs of developed team. As we have talked about already, the first process in resource management is to work on resource management plan, and the output of that process is called resource management plan. We also produce project charter, but that is not needed in here. Next is project documents, where we need lesson learned register, project schedule like network diagram and complete details related to it, project team assignment, that is the output of estimate activity resources, which is in next process, second process of resource management. You need resource calendar because in resource calendar you get availability of the resources along with the team charter and enterprise environmental factors and organization process assets. In tools and techniques, we have co-location, we have virtual teams, we have communication technology, interperson and team skills, recognition and reward, training, individual and team assessment and meetings. So as a project manager, these will be your skills which you will apply to develop project team. So let's discuss tools and technique one by one. What is co-location? Co-location, also referred to as tied matrix, involves placing many or all of the most active project team members in the same physical location to enhance their ability to perform as a team. You will arrange a central main hall for your team members to sit in there and work together. So when they will be sitting in one room, they will be discussing and interacting each other. So the chances are they will develop a very good team in that environment. So co-location can be temporary, such as at strategically important times during the project or for the entire project. Co-location strategies can include a team meeting room, sometimes called a war room, places to post schedule, other conveniences that enhance communication and a sense of community. While co-location is considered a good strategy, a use of virtual teams can bring benefits such as use of more skilled resources, reduced cost, less travel and relocation expenses, and the proximity of team members to suppliers, customers, and other stakeholders. Next are virtual teams, where they work from home or from other areas. So the use of virtual teams can bring benefits such as use of more skilled resources, reduced cost, less travel and relocation expenses, and the proximity of team members to suppliers, customers, and other stakeholders. Virtual teams can use technology to create an online team environment where the team can store files, use conversations, threads to discuss issues, and keep a team calendar. Next is communication technology. Like to communicate with each other, we can use email, we can chat, we can use audio conferencing, we can use video conferencing, and we can use shared portals like SharePoint, cloud systems, and other things like that to communicate each other. Next is interpersonal and team skills. First is conflict management. If you remember, I have uploaded my video on conflict management. You can watch that video as well. So conflicts are inevitable in a project environment. As a project manager, your responsibility will be to deal with the conflicts. So source of conflict include scarce resources, schedule, priorities, and personal work styles, team ground rules, group norms, and solid project management practices like communication planning and role definition reduce the amount of conflict. Successful conflict management results in greater productivity and positivity to work together. When managed properly, differences of opinion can lead to increased creativity and better decision making. So you must watch my that video where I've talked about in detail about conflict management. So these are the 5 principles to deal with the conflicts or to resolve conflicts. First is collaborative problem solving. In this stage, incorporating multiple viewpoints and insights from differing perspectives requires a cooperative attitude and open dialogues that typically leads to consensus and commitment. You will call a meeting with your team members. You will give them opportunity to talk in detail and explain their viewpoint, and then as a project manager you will listen actively, and then you will come to the conclusion. In compromise and reconcile, you will search for the solutions that bring some degrees of satisfaction to all parties in order to temporarily or partially resolve the conflicts, and this can be done through collaborative. When you will call a meeting with your team members, you will allow them to participate and share their viewpoints, and then you can use compromise or reconcile methods to resolve the conflicts. Next is withdraw, retreating from an actual or potential conflict situation, postponing the issue to better prepared or to be resolved by others. This is called withdraw, where we ignore the conflict. Smooth, accommodate, emphasizing the areas of agreement rather than the areas of differences. So you will call a meeting, you will discuss multiple viewpoints, and then you will choose only those points which are similar. Enforce and direct. This is called dictatorship, where when as a project manager you will decide what to do to resolve the conflict. Next is called influencing, because project managers often have little or no direct authority over team members in a matrix organization. Because if you remember, in a matrix environment you get your resources from functional manager. So when you will get your resources from the functional manager, they will be more loyal to the functional manager. So obviously you will have little or no authority. So Here, the key to success is to influence them. As a servant leader, their ability to influence stakeholders on timely basis is critical to project success. And key influencing skills include ability to be convincing, clearly speaking points and positions, high level of active and effective listening skills, awareness of and consideration for the various perspectives in any situation, and gathering relevant information to address issues and reach agreements while maintaining mutual trust. Next is motivation. I have uploaded my video on motivation as well, so you can watch that video. So motivation is providing a reason for someone to act. Teams are motivated by empowering them, means you will involve them in decision making processes for the project success, to participate in decision making and encourage them to work independently. And negotiation. What is negotiation? You will get your team members from the functional department, so you will have to arrange a meeting with your functional head and to convince them or him or her to get optimal resources for your project. Negotiation among team members is used to reach consensus on project needs. So negotiation can build trust and harmony among the team members. Team building. The objective of team building activities is to help individual team members work together. This can be done by Tuckman ladder theory, which we have discussed in this video. Recognition and reward. You must appreciate your team members during the executing phase of the project, so they are motivated. So part of the team development process involves recognizing and rewarding desirable behavior. The original plan for rewarding people is developed during the plan resource management process. Rewards will be effective only if they satisfy a need that is valued by that individual. People are motivated when they feel they are valued in the organization, and this value is demonstrated by the rewards given to them. Generally, money is viewed as a tangible aspect of any reward system, but intangible rewards could be appreciation. Most project team members are motivated by an opportunity to grow, where they learn something, they accomplish something by appreciation and apply their professional skills to meet new challenges. So, skill development, motivation, appreciation, this is all part of recognition and reward system, not only to increase salary. And trainings. Obviously, you have in resource management plan, and then you have identified your activities, and then you have acquired your resources. So to work on the project deliverables, you will have to give training opportunities to your team members so they can produce better deliverables for the project. Training includes all activities designed to enhance the competencies of the project team members. Training can be formal or informal. If project team members lack the necessary management and technical skills, such as skills that can be developed as a part of the project work, training costs could be included in the project budget or supported by the performing organization if the added skills may be useful for the future project. Then we have individual and team assessments. These tools help project manager assess team members' performance, ambition, how they process and organize information. This is very important tool and technique. When you will apply this tool and technique, you will get the opportunity to assess your team members. You will identify their weaknesses and strengths, and then you can address weaknesses accordingly. And meetings and expert judgments, these two tools and techniques are common tool and techniques in every process of the project management. So meetings are used to discuss and address pertinent topics of developing the project team. Attendees include project manager and the project team. Types of meeting include but are not limited to project orientation meeting, team building meetings, and team development meetings. And in outputs, we produce basically team performance assessment. This is key output. Remaining are change requests, then updates in different documents along with the enterprise environmental factor, organizational process assets. This is all about today's lecture. Hope you have understand inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs of developed team process, and the importance to learn the developed team process of resource management knowledge.